Right. Hello, sir. How are you?
It's the final
How
hour.
are you? Time to party with Marty.
Oh dear.
Sammy, you doozy.
Thank you.
Going well as well.
I was going to say, as you and Martin got the same text to wear the same clothes or something. Oh, did I not get that text?
Isn't it awkward when you turn up and you're both wearing the same outfit?
I have an excuse. I've been on YouTube all day. You can see what I'm wearing.
Have you? This is the first.
I think so, anyway.
Yeah,
I hope this has been working.
You've been here for 10 hours, don't I? Yeah, the first hour was, yeah.
Nice.
But we'll let you off. How you feeling?
Let's not mention the first hour again. Like, see, we've got her over that. We've had the tantrums.
You've been amazing.
Now, to be honest, she's been getting me through the last few hours. So I owe Sammy
you've been amazing. You have both been amazing, honestly.
I just hope it's been entertaining for people as well. Because people sat there and watched it. It's been boring.
I have been in and out of the chat all day. There has been nothing on there. Like, I've had family texting us, telling us how great it is, and just do you know what, Paul? Even if it wasn't, who gives a shit? Look how much that we raised.
Yes,
I'm not good.
And it keeps going.
You look it. You really do look it, and you look like you need something properly to eat.
I know Donna and, like I say, Donna and Charlotte's going to jump on the last 10-15 minutes just to like, because I want to say a big thank you to them as well for what they've done today.
They've been amazing.
But yes, take it away, Marty. It is your hour.
Your hour.
It's my power hour. Going full beast mode. Well, not really. All hail King Jake as well. Yes, as well.
Yes.
Well played, Jake. Come on, boy. Everyone in the chat as well. Kelly, Bev, everyone, you're all amazing. Charlotte and Donna, you've all been, you've been incredible just running it as well. And you guys, much love, honestly. Genuinely, you've both been incredible today. And every guest on has been brilliant. Like, they've all
phenomenal.
Your face though, as well though, when you had to bin Lord of the Rings, like my heart broke for you. Yeah, it was like that scene on The Simpsons when Lisa, rejects Ralph Wiggum and Bert's freeze framing the
and he sees the heartbreak.
His heartbreak in half. Yeah, it was like that. But yeah, to all of the guests, you've been brilliant. Honestly, but yeah, my choosing subject for tonight sounds like a fucking quiz show. We need Sam back on. You're a good quiz horse. My chosen subject is a quiz on the best top 5 music albums set to endings about cat couples who love horror, Game of Thrones, Friends books, in the Mario Sonic games that belong in Room 101.
I tell you to fuck off.
I'm pulling your picture, Paul. Don't worry, mate.
I don't understand what was just said there.
I did see how to tell one of the guests to fuck off by the end. So, Martin, you're the first one. Get the fuck off.
No, it's about top 5 British comedies, and if we get time, British comedians as well. But I thought I'd play it, a little bit safe, but also just because we've all got different upbringings, so it'd be nice to hear kind of what we've watched, growing up. And as I said in the, in the Ghostbusters podcast in the intro, it was like I was brought up on a lot of British comedies, some American as well. But I'm going to stick to British because the American.
So are we going British TV shows or British films?
British comedies.
Comedy TV shows.
Yeah.
Comedy TV.
We want it to be a laugh the last hour. We want to talk about stuff that makes us laugh. You've had all that intellectual, with Grant and etc. So let's talk comedy. Let's talk what makes us laugh.
Cool.
Come on.
So you've got a top 5. Give us your first one there, Martin.
It's the obvious choice, but it's the best. It's still Only Fools and Horses. Even when they became millionaires, should have ended there. Even though Strangers on the Shore was in a fantastic episode. It's just amazing. John Sullivan, rest in peace, he created a legacy that, it's incredible. And it doesn't matter. It's like Friends, it doesn't matter what episode you're watching, what order.
Yeah, you can always pick up on it, yeah.
Yeah, so many great moments, so many great lines, so many great characters. Some who were still with us, some who were up there, like Kenna.
quite a few now.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's really sad. Like we're getting to an age where they are like slowly starting to pass away. I couldn't agree with you more. This is a family favorite. There is even, I have a funny birth story around Runny Furs and Horses.
Oh, go on, tell it.
My mum was in labour with me, and my dad would not leave the house until the episode of Only Fools and Horses was finished, because obviously it was back in the day when you couldn't record it.
Yeah.
Or if you missed it, you weren't seeing it for a very long time. And he wouldn't leave until. So my mum rode motorbikes at the time, and she went and sat on her motorbike to help relieve her pain until the episode finished, and then they went. It explains a lot, mind, sitting on a motorbike in this head.
My wife Nicole told us a funny story about Only Furs and Horses, because she's part of like other groups as well, like talk about like British comedy. She's a big, huge Only Furs and Horses fan. Like her and her dad watch it all the time and talk about it. But she was in this group, and it was just a piss take. Someone made the comment and said, "I've just watched the weirdest episode of Only Fools and Horses. Rodney goes out through a back lane and end up sitting in the pub in the 40s, and I didn't make any sense of it." And people in the group went absolutely nuts, calling them, saying, "That's not Only Fools and Horses. It's Good Night, Sweetheart." But he just said it to wind people up. But people are so like,
why is he hanging around with a woman from Ballykiss Angel?
But people are so very protective of, like I say, of Only Fools and Horses. It is a national initiative. Like some of my favorite episodes of like just going to the nerdy faction is when they dress up as Batman and Robin and go to, like say the villains.
Some of my favorite episodes are like, I don't know if they would class them as big ones, but the long night where they're all held up in the supermarket when Leroy decides to rob the store, with a gun, but he ends up doing it all at the wrong times, and they end up being and he does the whole that he's the shadow because they seek him here, they seek him there. Those policemen seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven or is he in hell? That damn elusive shadow.
You're a little hero, and then Del recognises him.
That I like that one. I love the Tony Angelino episode. It is absolutely genius. The episode where Del sells the slate on the church, but then has the miracle and saves the church. That's a really good one. I do like some of the older ones. I love the episode where the dad comes back.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite episodes, especially when Del finally like, get out, you're not welcome. It's not a case of you walk out on me now, I'm telling you to leave. And I love that moment.
Like David Jason, absolutely. Like I don't think he's ever been in anything that's been poor as well, when you think of like all the stuff he's been in, like going from like Frost, even like Open All Hours. Was absolutely brilliant, but he is a national treasure, like one of the top tier actors, and to play that character so well and keep it fresh as well, because there was a fucking shit ton of episodes and specials. It kept on going and going and going to the point where you're just thinking, is this never going to end? But he kept that characters going.
Count Duckula.
Yep.
He was that childhood.
There is one episode of Only Fools and Horses that I can't watch, and I will never watch. I absolutely hate it. There is cringe, and then there is this episode, and it's a royal flush where Del goes to the countryside after Rodney almost gets together with a very rich young lady. I think her father's a lord, and Del ends up trying to like get his way in there, and they go to the theatre, and I absolutely hate that episode. I will never watch it, but a royal flush is not a good one for me. Jolly Boy's outing.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant. Yes, Jolly Boy's outing's good. The episode where Damien's born is beautiful.
The almond.
See, it changes music depending on where you're watching it, because obviously licenses. So anytime you if you watch it on Netflix, it would be different to what it would be on Prime, what it is different to on the DVDs, to what it is different to on Gold. It's all like the different music's like just for Damien though.
Oh, that was a good first choice. Sammy, what would you go for?
Well,
pick?
That would have been one of my first choices because it is one of my favorites. But I'm gonna go with something that my family and we watch. We watched a lot in lockdown because it was a summer program. I absolutely adore this series, Benidorm.
Yeah.
I've never watched it, I'll be honest. I've not watched it.
I absolutely love this. It's
even when the Garveys went. Yeah, even when the Garveys left, you you're all right.
Oh, sorry, it's just the charger fell out.
Right,
I don't need anything to go wrong, and then I can still hear you. These headphones are really loud. Yeah, even when the Garveys left and new families came, it was it didn't take anything away. Steve Pembrokeshire from
Steve Edge as well. When his family came in, they were brilliant.
I love Kenneth DeBeck. I love the hairdresser Kenneth DeBeck, and I love love the relationship that he has with Liam. It's beautiful. It's funny, it's light-hearted, it's non-offensive, and it really got us through lockdown because we're stuck in the house and all these people are in Benidorm, and it's got to the point where we're I could be in Benidorm, right? I could do Benidorm. Benidorm seems like a good idea about now. It's just fun. It's just, this first series is your typical Benidorm holiday, your Benidorm all-inclusive. And I love character building. I love character progression. I love to get to know people. And that is the perfect show for it. Benidorm, so funny.
Cool. Mine's it's had a few seasons now. I think I can't see them making a new season now after this year's news, but was Friday Night's Dinner.
Oh God.
Good choice. Shalom.
I absolutely love this. Say the family dynamic, as you said, the neighbour that is just wouldn't fuck off.
Yeah.
But it has genuinely heartbreaking and brilliant moments in it. When Wilson passes away and he gets buried, and he gets Milson. He gets Milson as a replacement, but when they bury him, and then they put this giant cross in the Jewish family's in front garden, and they're going, they can't have that cross in our garden. And but how can you tell them not to bury his dog? That meant so well to him.
I found this quite late. I think the last series was just about the last series was just about to start. Because I tried to watch it before, and there was some the guy
it's
who
very
plays,
cringe. Yeah, it's very cringe-worthy.
Well, he's in space. I can't think of the actor's name, and I can't even think of his character name in that either. He plays
Marquis.
Right.
That's it, Marquis. That's it.
He's
so he just hello. I absolutely. But I persevered with it, and I saw what I always look for in TV shows, just getting to know people and, following along with their lives, and something even just a dinner. I wanted to know what they were having for dinner, and
I spit a squirrel.
What was his date called? Kept laughing. Oh, what was his date called? Who kept laughing at the table?
Oh, I can't remember it.
She
had the weirdest little laugh.
Yeah.
Because
is that the one who ended up didn't like the Jews?
Yeah.
And it's the way she just goes, fuck off. That was absolute timing.
Yeah. But my favourite episode is when trying to wreck each other's room, and they find out he broke something, and he's looking after, and he's trying to get his bunny rabbit.
Yes.
So he's hiding the bunny rabbit, and he gives it gives the daft neighbour, who then doesn't want to give it back, and then for some reason it ends up in the pond. So Simon decides to go into the pond to get it, but then Wilson jumps in and retrieves it, and it ends up being so fucked up. But as you said, the characters in it, the family dynamic, the dad who's unfortunately is like I say, it was unwell, we didn't know about and passed away.
No.
But it's like, it was so quotable. Like me and Nick say it all the time, like shit on it.
Shit on it.
Shit on it. Yeah.
It's just like I say, you could see that happening as a family, and the pranks they pulled on each other, like putting salt in the water. And
how it was a running gag as well, though. Like it was always the same gag, like the salt in the water. I love the last episode, mind, where it all worked out the way that the mum always wanted it to.
His lovely girlfriends who got pregnant and stuff.
Yes,
like
at the same time. But it was like everyone was like, "Well, that feels like a rushed ending," and I'm like, "No, because the mum got everything she wanted all in one go. That's all she ever wanted. If you've been watching, she always wanted to see his lovely girlfriends and them to start have a family. And her, like, it was genius. Such a good program.
Because I know the writers. Yeah, because I know the writer said they wanted to do a next season, but the cast went, we don't think we need to do it. But then, like I say, with the news, what's happened this year, I don't think we'll get one, if that makes sense.
Can't do it.
No, you can't, because it's not a program where we want to, like, we don't want to see the fact that, you know, the dad passed away or Paul passed away, like, and I don't think I don't think that's what they want either. Like that show ended, and it ended on a high. Yeah. Leave it like that.
No, definitely.
Really good choice.
Yeah. Young Martin.
I know Sammy's mentioned another of his comedies with Kev in the 90s episode a week last Friday. But I'm gonna, even though I love Blackadder, I know Sammy might choose this, but I'm gonna go bottom. I love the young ones. I love Blackadder, but nothing for me will beat Bottom. Like in terms of Rick Mayall, like I still watch him and cry with laughter, especially like Terror, for example. You know, with the tights and the cattle prod, etc. You know, things like that. Brilliant. Even the film I can watch as well.
I think the film's hilarious. I think it's so funny. Bottom I never really got when it came out. Don't get us wrong, I watched it because if I didn't, I wasn't having conversations with people the next day. But I didn't get it. I didn't get the humor. It's only been over the last couple of years I've started to finally get it and understand it and actually be able to laugh to it.
Each their own.
It just wasn't
it was very it was very slapstick. It was very in your face. Like I say, again, it wasn't subtle in any shape or form. But Rick Mayall, if you did Bottom with any other setting, any other actors would not work. But Ade Edmondson and Rick Mayall, you could put them in any type of scenario, and I would laugh at them. They were just perfect pairing, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and that was always sad what happened with Rick. But Ade Edmondson, I don't think Ade Edmondson doesn't get the credit he deserves as well, because everyone always just refers to Rick Mayall, which he was a genius. But Ade Edmondson brought so much to that character and so much elements, even to roles that he's done afterwards.
I was just about to say he's Vivian. Like for all you, if you look at the young ones, Vivian stands out more than what Rick does. But if you watch him Bottom, it's Rick who stands out more than Ade. And I don't know if that's like a dynamic thing on their part. Like, you know, do you know what I mean? They know their strengths and their weaknesses. I
100% agree. Yeah.
But Christopher Ryan as well, another one. You know, he was brilliant in both as Dave Hedgehog and Mike.
He is also in Only Fools and Horses. He is one of the Driscoll brothers.
Driscoll brothers, yeah.
Oh, that's a good choice. I watched the Christmas special last year. Was it the camping one?
Oh yeah, where they try and get a Wombles with their hobnobs. Yeah.
Yes. And the one where they're stuck on the Ferris wheel.
Oh yeah, Carnival. Yeah, with the Great Liz Smith as the fortune teller. Yeah. And they're like, and then Richie gets up and because he's so fat, basically breaks the carriage. Yeah.
I just love that. As I said, it's one of them shows where you don't have to watch it from start to finish to know what's going on.
No,
you can literally pick up and watch and find it hilarious. And again, it's and that's it's a TV show about nothing. Nothing really happens in it except from two people being Burks.
Yes.
Like the British Beavis and Butthead, and they're just two idiots who just want to get shagged, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. The way that they go on about getting shagged is hilarious. Like it would like.
I'm just picturing Rick Mills' face as well. He goes,
yeah.
Well, there was that story
biting of that lip.
I'm sure, weren't there, where Greg Davis was on Man Down, and he did that thing where he just went, he says, like, he was just clearing his nostrils, Greg Davis, because he was like, and Rick went, that's my thing, don't do that. And it was like, and you can tell because he does look like a taller Rick Mayall. That's why he got him to play his dad.
Exactly. For the last thing that Rick Mayall did was to play his dad before he passed away. Was just a gift to us because Greg Davis is amazing.
Oh, Fire and Cheese Ball. Yeah, like great live show.
He is a taller, broader, fatter. I shouldn't use the word fatter, but broader version of Rick Mayall.
But yeah, that was going to be my next pick, actually, Man Down, because I was going to go with it because the bottom influence picked up, but I love Man Down and the dynamics, and Greg Davis picks up the mantle greatly of Rick Mayall. But one of the interviews that Greg Davis did with afterwards, because it was like after the second season or before, like after he passed away, and they went, what was it like working with Rick Mayall? He went, you know what, you get worried about working with someone that you grew up with and that you admired, but Rick Mayall was as dangerous on set as I thought he would be. He was absolutely terrifying to work with, and I was so happy he was that way, because if anything else, it would have been a big disappointment. So Rick Mayall was as manic, and like when he jumped out and attacked him, he fucking went for it. He really did try, and
even the tetherball scene, that was mental,
But I've never actually seen it.
It's a grower.
I will watch it, but I've never actually given it the time. And the only thing I've ever watched of Greg is any comedy specials he's been on, like Mock of the Week. I think that's where I first met him. The Last Leg.
Taskmaster is absolutely unbelievable.
Brilliant on this season of Buzzcocks as well.
I've not watched Taskmaster, but my sister will not stop banging on about it, so I will actually watch it. The Cleaner.
Yeah, The Cleaner was brilliantly absolutely amazing.
How brilliant. Me and Ant watched it. Just on your recommend, you said watch it. And as I said to Anthony, it's got Greg Davis saying, we need to watch it. Paul said it's good. And we put the first episode on. We were hooked. Absolutely hooked.
Watch his live shows as well. Firing Cheese Balls Off a Dog, and the second one, The Back of My Mum's Head, I think it's called. They're both brilliant. Yeah.
I'm getting attacked by a cat. But yeah.
That's why I've got Gizmo out like Grant. It's like, she'd have just come in and took out the shelving unit.
Not again. But yeah, I kind of jumped me turn there, Sam. Sorry, it's your turn.
Oh, it's fine if it.
No, it's your third. Oh, it's Sammy's. Is it your second pick, Sammy? Or
yeah.
Oh,
it's just Paul's fit in perfectly with the way the conversation was going. Mine's not a outright belly laugh, but it is a comedy. I would class it as a comedy. It's written by two comedic writers. It is about a family. It is about a family who sits and watches telly in Manchester. The Royal Family.
This is my fourth pick. Yeah.
This is my all-time go-to. Honestly, I love this show so much. Me and my dad love my mum doesn't get it at all. But I remember when the Queen of Sheba came out, because we've got bawled my eyes out. Me mum and dad's got a big conservatory, and then the living room here, and me and my dad just piled into the conservatory to sit and watch it, because we never thought the royal family would ever come back again. I absolutely adore this program. It is just it's funny without being belly laugh funny. It's lighthearted. There's not a great deal of attention that you need to put into it. It used to be my go-to to fall asleep to. Because I have a tendency of not being able to fall asleep without background noise. And the royal family, I would just put them on, and it's just people watching telly. and having a conversation, and I can do that. I can fall asleep.
It's real. We related to it. Like my dad always had his chair, like Jim did. You know, every northern dad had that chair. You know, even I have it now where I have my seat on the settee. You know, you have your chair. They have the control of the remote. Yes. You know, like I was Anthony, like growing up, like my mum and dad, God bless them, they work hard and everything and all that, my mum and stepdad, but they'd sit there and I'd be like sat there and they'd be the nearest to the phone would ring or the door would go and they'd go,
get the phone, Martin.
Yeah, get it, Lurky, or yeah. Even like the side characters as well, like you say, like Nana, Cheryl as well. Absolutely brilliant.
Jessica Haynes as Cheryl is absolutely brilliant. The episode of the Christmas Cracker, Joe's Christmas Cracker, where you find out Mary's died. Mary's in the Dyson. When they find out Mary's died, and she's talking about going on dating sites, and Anthony's girlfriend asks her, you know, have you been seeing anyone recently? And she starts talking about this this guy she's been seeing. She was like, oh yeah, and I saw him, and you know, I was having my morning pasties, and I had a dog come up to us, and he says, you know, if you give him any of that pasty, he'll not leave you alone. And she's like getting proper into the story, and then she just goes, and what was his name, Cheryl? Spamhead. It's the way Jessica delivers. Spamhead.
Oh yeah, she's amazing as Cheryl. She was brilliant in Space, but brilliant as Cheryl.
I mean, she will always be my Daisy Steiner.
I wanted her and Twiggy to get together like at one point. I think.
They did?
Well, I think because like Twiggy had a soft spot. He always looked out for Cheryl, didn't he? As well, he was always like.
They mentioned it on one of the episodes, on one of the specials about her and Twiggy getting together. Yeah. And she just said it didn't work out, and it must be something to do with them going to prison. But obviously, the great actor who played Twiggy,
Jeffrey Hughes,
he passed away.
Yeah.
They still used him. They still used his character because they used his disabled badge when they went to Wales, or the Pearl of Prestatyn.
The Golden Egg Cup, and then there was the other sofa as well with
the new sofa.
Tom. I forget the actor's name, but he's such a great actor. Yeah,
he was a doctor, wasn't he?
Yeah, Tom.
I can't think of his name.
Oh God, I apologise. You know, yeah.
No need to apologise. Like say we
never get names right.
That's not what we're about. Like say, if we wanted to get facts and figures, go to someone else. We just want to go what we enjoy. That's all we like.
Oh yeah, I mean the Mambo number 5 episode when they're stripping the wall is brilliant, and Joe. You know, Joe was brilliant. Peter Martin, great actor. You know, he was every dynamic like a northern family. You'd sit there, just watch TV all night. You know, we come home from school. My mum and dad would come from work, and you just sit in front of the telly.
But you have your tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, your tea.
And it's so funny because my sister Maria, God love her, she had a fella called Dave who was exactly like Dave. He'd just come around, he wouldn't say much. Yeah. You know, she's very nasally as well, and yeah.
Like I say, I was never a huge fan of the Royal. Like I said, I'll be honest. It reminded us a lot of like Bread. I don't know if you remember Bread.
I love Bread.
That was the same type of feel, but I always preferred Bread to that. I know it's like
quite when they replaced Joey.
Yeah, because like I say, the contrasting things. It was like Liverpoolian family and Mancunian family. Yeah. That was always the aspect. But like I say, that was always like my one I would say.
I always wanted, you know, where they kept the eggs and she put the money into it.
Yeah.
I always wanted one of them. I absolutely love Bread.
Yeah,
I met Melanie. Oh, what's her name? She was she played the daughter.
Corrie as well. Yeah,
she's Sean Bean's first wife.
Yeah, Melanie. Was it Melanie Hill?
Melanie Hill. So I met
Melanie.
Yeah,
she replaced New Aveline. Yeah.
Yeah, she did. I met Melanie Hill at Horton. In Horton, in a convention that she came to, and she was lovely. She sat and she talked to us, and I will regret for the rest of my life that I never told Melanie Hill that she says one of my favorite lines in film, and it's from Brastoff when she tells Stephen Tompkinson that he when they're fighting over money, and she says, "You can't. What was it? You got no fucking money. Debt collectors at our door, and what do you want to do? fucking chuckle. It's one of the best lines ever, and I will kick myself for not saying that to Melanie Hill. So.
So moving on, because I'm realising that we are running out of time. Martin, we'll go with your next pick, even though Sam's kind of stole one of your picks.
It's all right.
Did I?
No, it's all right.
You picked the royal family here. We said it was his pick as well.
It was number 4, but yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
It's in any order, but no, don't worry, it saves time. You know, there was always going to be, I think there was always going to be at least 1 or 2 that we'd pick. No, I love the American version. Everybody, you know, like, it's a great show. You know, and a lot of people prefer the American version, but I prefer the British version of The Office. I love it. I love The Office. It's so good. So many great characters, so many great moments. It ended perfectly, you know, with Brent telling Finchy to fuck off and Tim and Dawn getting together in the end finally. Yeah. It was brilliant. Yeah. I love all these other stuff, but The Office is just perfect. Like, it's so boring, but it's so brilliant at the same time. And you just want to hate David Brent, but he's brilliant.
But that's the best part.
Cringeworthy.
It's the best part about it, though. And they did the same with Steve Carell in the American Office. They are so hate-worthy people, but there's one redeeming quality in them that keeps the spark of your interest still with them. Brent has it, Michael Scott has it, and I think it's genius writing that this person is so cringy, they deserve everything that's coming to them, yet for some reason you still want them to do okay. Like, you don't want anything really bad to happen to them.
I see, because I know he gets a lot of shit, but I do like Ricky Gervais, and the Office wasn't my cup of tea, but the extras, that's when I fucking fell in love. Extras was absolutely bang on.
I cry at that Big Brother scene when he's doing the big speech, and he's to Maggie.
I think Derek is some of the best work he ever did.
Amazing.
I think it's absolutely perfection. People need to stop looking at the negative side of Derek and look at all the positivity and the love and attention that's in that series, because that is some of Ricky's best written work. I know I can't really comment on Afterlife, because I've only ever watched the first series. But Derek is just a prime example of how good he can write people.
And you feel sorry for Kev Swine, because he's like, even though he's disgusting, you know, he's just a sad alcoholic who just needs to break the habit. Yeah, and it's a shame.
Yeah, like I say, that was a good show. Like I said, I think The Office as well, it was one of them shows that didn't stay around too long. It knew what it wanted.
No, he doesn't. He always ends it after a couple of seasons and a special,
But yeah, like I said, David Brent is probably the most adherent character that you want to hate, but you want him to do well at the same time.
Something
dates at the end, with the Christmas special, you're like, yes. And when he tells Finchy to fuck off, it's brilliant.
But I would be amiss if we didn't mention like British comedy, and like I said, there's 2 shows which I know might be on your list, but I want to like touch on as well. Spaced is the ultimate nerd TV show.
Ultimate. I watched it. I watched it yesterday while I was at work.
Especially for people our age as well. We related so hard as well.
Yeah.
We know the struggles that like say they went through. That we had them fucking conversations. We probably had that on this fucking podcasts.
We did. The Phantom Menace and Jar Jar comes up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I would be amiss. I would be devastated if, like, say, we've done best British comedies and we didn't talk about Spaced. It is up there, like Simon Pegg. It launched him to where he is now. And like, say, some of the actors in that and actresses like using old school British comedy as well, but doing it in a way, and like we've got films from that as well. Shaun of the Dead we would never have gotten if it wasn't for Spaced. 100%.
Did you ever see the documentary that they did? Not a documentary, but like a follow-up, like this is how we created Spaced. It was Edgar Wright, Jessica Haynes and Simon Pegg, and they did like a walkthrough of the sets and, you know, talked about the creative progress and everything. It's on the DVD special and it ends Spaced. So at the end of it, the three of them are walking down the street as they're just talking about the program. You come to the house, the front door opens, and it's Daisy holding a baby, picking up the milk, and Tim is behind her and says something to her, and she says, "Listen, we called her Leah, you win." And then they close the door.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever saw that, I cried for hours.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I love that series. I love the references. I love the language, the way they speak to each other.
Yeah. But they don't dumb it down as well, though. That's the thing, because a lot of nerd culture before that, or even after that as well, they kind of had to talk it down a bit. Like they were almost like kind of embarrassed to be nerds or to have that type of passion.
He was not.
They didn't have that aspect. So again, it kind of gives us a little bit of life affirmation that I wasn't the outsider or the weirdo. Like say, there was a place for me in this world.
Yeah, it didn't matter how old that we were, because we can still love what we love. Like look at Bilbo, the character Bilbo, played by Bill Bailey.
Yeah.
Like he was what, in his mid-40s and still rocking the nerd culture. Like the opening scene, man, when they first meet each other in the calf, when they're doing the and they're crying.
And the paintball episode as well. The paintball episode is legendary. It's up there with a Community paintball episode as well.
Oh yes.
I've not seen Community, so I can't reference it. But the paintball episode in that is really good. The rave is the best episode.
Vulva.
Only for the hardcore UK ravers. Vulva, when David Williams, what was it? Me and Ant quote this to each other all the time. Pudding. I can't believe some of the shit I used to do with you.
So yeah, sorry for cutting in there. So we'll go with your last. We'll go with your last pick now. So what's your last pick there, big fella?
Being a Northerner, I know you're probably going to go like, oh, they're the same pair. No. I'm going to, being a Northerner, I've got to go Phoenix Nights. Go on, say it, Sammy, do the Charlie FM. Go on.
Charlie FM.
Get it out of your system.
Coming in your ears. Where the listener comes first.
Yes. I knew we had to, shameless plug. But I love it, being from the north, it's and growing up in labour clubs, like when your parents had got labour clubs and you go to the pub and you'd be sat there with a pat, a good pint of lemonade and a packet of crisps, like to entertain you while they're off, with the mates.
Playing bingo.
Yeah, a bit of bingo. Then you'd see cabaret singer, the Jerry Tickler, and you'd always have the bouncers who always fancied the women who thought they were kind of like rock hard and they were just a couple of fat blokes from dirt roads. You know what I mean? It was like Max and Paddy. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Like it's Peter Kay's best work, even though he has done some fantastic stuff since.
Yeah. No.
It's just still quotable as well,
Oh, definitely.
Like, how far away are they, and like, and like, hey, I could see you, dickhead, and piss slaps and stuff like that. It's brilliant. It's just, it ended, perfectly. They did the brilliant comic relief tour after, but
Max and Paddy's Road to Nowhere was hilarious.
It was.
It wasn't Phoenix Nights, but it was funny. I enjoyed it.
I'll keep my gob shut for this one.
You not like Phoenix Nights? I mean,
I don't like Peter Kay. I can't get away with Peter Kay.
You can stop talking then.
It wasn't for me. I think again, I can understand his humour and stuff, but garlic bread. Oh wait, I mean, say something different. I've had enough. But anyway, that's me. Stop being negative.
He said plasma TV.
Plasma.
25-inch
plasma.
No, it's really rare though that you hear someone who doesn't like Pete, you're not on board with Peter Kay.
Oh, and you can relate to his comedy.
Car Share is hilarious.
Yes, the outtakes. Oh,
yeah, that is so funny. But Phoenix Nights is like opus. Like that is. I can't see him doing anything as good as I would like to think he could. But that is the pinnacle of
to be fair, he doesn't have to now, though. That's the thing.
No.
I think, yeah.
Oh, Ted Robbins was brilliant in it and the Stars of Rise episode with Gary Glitter and Britney Spears.
That was so funny, especially when he starts singing Gary Glitter and he's like going, "Come on," and the whole crowd's looking at him, and he just falls off the stage, and everyone starts cheering.
Yeah.
They absolutely hate him.
Yeah, it's one of them things.
So many problems.
Well, he said on the what was it? The commentary for season 2. Yeah, they call him the bastard, Daniel Gibson. He said it's the thing he's least proud of.
Yeah, he said it was the worst working environment he'd ever been in, and he was. They were just the commentary. Honestly, the commentary is more funny than the actual series. But me and Anthony still sing corned beef with chips or with salad. It's corned beef. Even Buckingham
Palace, it's corned beef. Hey, why don't you try
corned beef hash?
Get black bin bags.
Yep, me and Anne still singing to each other.
And we were watching Dave Spikey on his first tour with the Overnight Success Tour. We did those 2 songs.
Do not find Dave Spikey funny in the slightest.
To each their own, yeah. I get it. He was good on 8 out of 10 Cats, but Manfred Thingy was better. The rest of the captains after him were better, yeah.
His comedy on his own is almost aggressive. Like, it wasn't for me. If he's not being
it could be down to the timing as well, because like I say, a lot of the comedies of that era work. Like I say, if you look at, especially like around the Manchester scene as well, like Burn and Run and stuff like that. It not there, but I know David Spikey wasn't for everyone. But I think again, I'm not a big fan of Feeding Nights, but I think everyone played the roles well, which again wasn't like say it just wasn't my cup of tea. But what I wanted to mention before we do talk about other stuff as well, we can't mention British comedy without mentioning the number one comedy that was ever that always gets talked about on the Nerdy Up North community. I'm going to start singing the song. It's cold outside. There's no kind of atmosphere. I'm all alone, more or less. Let me fly away from here. So yes, Red Dwarf.
Fern. Yep. It is the series that I watch at least once a year, maybe even twice a year. I'm due for a rewatch. I can only get so far though.
Arnold River.
Yeah, I can only get so far though. When I do my rewatch, I can only get to when Kachansky comes in, and then I'm like,
yeah, that's when, like I say, that's the point with Red Dwarf. Like the early stuff, comedy genius, absolutely brilliant. I think what happened was when they start getting money and start getting success, they lost like a little bit, and they start pumping too much in. Like say that, the point of Red Dwarf was it was hokey. It was kind of like
cheapy sci-fi.
It was like sci-fi done by Blue Peter. But when they start getting money and they start thing, and as I said, losing David Barry was probably the show's downfall, and they made and they realised they made a mistake. But some of the characters in that, Flash. Woof.
Smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast.
Yeah. The cat, like I say, Dwayne Gibbley.
That episode is genius, though. I'm sure. Wasn't that episode? You know the episode where where Crichton is ill and they all have gone to the video game style to create an antibody to get him better again. That episode won so many awards. Proper did the circuits. But I love the Dwayne Gibbley episode where they go, again, they're in a video game.
But like I said, just the whole element, David Barry is one of my comedy favorites. Like even the British Empire, he was absolutely amazing. Chris Barry, sorry.
I didn't realise what you said there. I was like, did he say David Barry?
Give us a break.
No, I'm not criticising. I'm not criticising. I didn't know if I was hearing you right or not.
No, sorry. Yeah, Chris Barry. Basically, even in the British Empire. Yeah. David Bowie. No, that would have been interesting.
For one day.
But even like Craig Charles as Lister, absolutely like
belly laugh. Like I love
so
him.
many quotable things, like calling like how many kids at school called each other smegheads.
Oh my
Smeg-heads,
god,
Smeg-ups.
yeah.
Smeg-ups is legendary. That's in the annals of like the British comedy as well. Smeg-ups.
Can you remember when it got like really big, like not before Kachansky or anything, but just like the BBC Two did like an anniversary weekend, and they did like Ready Steady Cook with them, and they had like special programs on and things, and then like it was literally a whole weekend of Red Dwarf. It was one of the greatest weekends ever. I absolutely loved it, and nobody remembers it.
I can't remember it actually.
Yeah, it was on BBC Two. It was like a whole like Saturday and Sunday programming all on Red Dwarf from like 6 o'clock onwards. But I was like glued to it. I loved it.
So what would you say again? Just to take it back to you, man, because I feel like I've stolen away a bit of your thunder. Sorry.
No, you haven't. It's all three of us talking.
What would you say again? Don't think about it too much. Top 5 British actresses and actors in comedy.
Well, I was going to do 5 comedians, but actors and actresses.
Well, comedians, no, that'll be fine.
No,
5 top 5. Yeah.
I mean, obviously Rick Mayall, yeah, in terms of actors. Comedians, I mean, my all-time favourite is Lee Evans. Like, seeing him do his Bohemian Rhapsody live, and it is incredible. Like, Lee Evans is just the goat for me. Like, absolutely love him. He's amazing. Even Mouse Hunt was a brilliant movie as well, and Something About Mary was brilliant in that.
No, I'm not a big fan of Lee Evans, but
No,
I think he's just a sweaty man that moves around a lot. But again,
it's just not my comedy. It's too fast. It's too erratic.
But I can see his appeal.
Me too. I just find him too erratic. Like not for me.
It's a modern day Norman Wisdom. Yeah, he's been compared to Mr. Grimsdale.
So go on there, sir.
Go on, Sammy. Your next pick for comedians.
We're just going
to go with you.
All right. I'm going to say Jimmy Carr as well. I think he's brilliant. The guy.
He's the king of the one-liners.
Yeah. And heckles, and he's fantastic. It's a joint third, Sarah Millican and Chris Ramsey. You know,
so you're going for the northern approach there.
Yeah,
but I would say Rosie Ramsey's probably taken over Chris.
Rosie Ramsey is much funnier than her husband, and I love Chris, but much funnier. Can't wait for the new show.
If you listen to Shag Berry tonight,
I saw them live, and I saw her perform that live.
Did she? Oh yes, I can't wait for a week on Monday.
With them lyrics, she genius, absolute genius.
Gonna go John Bishop as well. I think he's fantastic.
I like John Bishop. I've got a lot of time for John Bishop.
He was brilliant in Skins as well. If you remember him back in the day, Skins was brilliant. You know, the first 2 or 3, I think it's first 3 or 4 series, and then it just kind of just outstayed its welcome. And lastly, Frankie Boyle. You know, he's controversial, but I mean, he's gone downhill since, but his actual stand-up shows are incredible. Like,
when he first like was in like Mock the Week and that, hilarious. And then he got a bit too big for his boots and started saying some choice things. But again,
I think comedy is like so diverse, though. You get so many different elements. Like someone's tickle bone is always different to the next person's.
Oh, absolutely.
I think, like, say, just off the top of my head, like my favorite stand-ups probably is Ross Noble, Greg Davies.
Choices.
I can't think of like anyone else now. My brain's just that fried. Them two always stand out. That I would always look out to see.
I love Mighty Boosh when they did their live shows. I don't know if you class that as stand-up comedy, but it was a comedy show. Like, also we recently watched the Dave Chappelle on Netflix. Watched his most recent one. Watched his most recent one. Then watched his older ones. Incredibly funny guy.
Oh, the Nutty Professor. He was brilliant as Reggie.
He was very good as Reggie.
Reggie.
Yeah, he's good. He's very opinionated. I just think that you need to go in with an open mind and actually listen to what he's saying when you're watching his performances, because there's a lot that can be taken one way and taken another. Oh, he's done it. He's chocolate.